Hey guys, I'm Scott from cscott.dev and welcome back to my course on CSS. In this video, we're going to do a quick dive into what CSS is, talk about the history, and we'll start by defining what CSS even means. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets and is a way to tell different browsers how to display your content using different style rules. But what does the cascading part of Cascading Style Sheets even mean? Well, to explain it as simply as possible, let's do a little thought experiment where we talk about one specific element on a web page. Say, a simple link tag. Now say we have two rules for that tag. We want the color to be green, and we want it to be bold so people know it's a link. Well, now say we want to apply a different rule if the link happens to be inside of a paragraph. Let's say we want links and paragraphs to be red. But now we have a problem. Now there are two rules telling the link how to behave. One that's telling it to be green, and one that's telling it to be red. Well, since these rules are applied in a cascading manner, the most specific rule will generally win. So in our example, since we wanted all links in general to be green and bold, they will be unless they are inside of a paragraph. And then they will be red and bold, since we did not override the rule for bolding behavior. The cascading nature of CSS lets us apply multiple rules, even using multiple style sheets if we want, to any element or set of elements and determine which rule or rules will win. And this behavior lets us take complete control of the layout and design of a website, from the position of the elements, to the different fonts, to showing or hiding things based on what size browser someone is using, and more. Now let's talk a little bit about the history of CSS. The first version of CSS was introduced back in around 1996 and gave us a very limited way to style things by using things like font size or color or background colors. A couple of years later in 1998, the second version of CSS was released and gave us more flexibility with different selectors and even let us have different style sheets for display versus print, like when you go to print out a web page. When CSS 3 was introduced in 2005, it really paved the way for mobile web design, which was just about to explode in popularity as Android and the iPhone hit the market just a couple of years later. We're still on CSS 3 today, and it's still being developed, but suffice it to say that it gives us a wide range of control over modern websites while still being easy to grasp. Note that each version of CSS is inclusive of the features in the version before, which means it's backward compatible out of the box. Let's take a look at a site using an old version of CSS. Note that our browser here can still display it without a problem because it's backwards compatible. What you'll notice is that the site is not responsive. It does not change to fit smaller screens for things like phones and tablets. And that's really what CSS 3 gives us the flexibility to do. If we jump over to a site like cscott.dev, however, you'll notice that when I shrink down the browser size, the elements on the page adjust to fit, and we even get new elements like the hamburger menu that let us use a finger to navigate as opposed to a mouse. Without CSS, none of this would be possible. And that's CSS in a nutshell. In upcoming videos, we'll dive into CSS 3 step by step and talk about how we can apply it to our web pages.